Sorry.
Well, it's okay. Phone trouble.
Now I'm situated. Yeah, I'm situated now. But we're talking about those. So,
Yeah, those songs that you wrote. I remember reading those about the things that nobody loved but you. I remember
yeah,
I read that as a poem, sort of, but I never heard of the music.
yeah,
And they were sad.
yeah.
But then that one of all of y'all together, that was nice to be able to hear Gene singing. And
That's what Cyrus said. It was good to hear him talking and
yeah,
singing. Yeah, that was from 1974. I went by their house and you know some
is that a tape recorder or something?
yeah, and me and Mark bugs everybody with cameras and videos and tape recorders. So, but a lot of times, Bibi would sit at the piano and play and sing, and I'd harmonize with her. That we did that a lot, but yeah, I enjoyed finding that of them all playing together. But
Yeah, there was a lot of times when they did, when they'd have those Willie Road, they would play music. Nobody ever, recorded it, I guess.
I thought Hank might enjoy the bluegrass.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up there a little later because I opened it up today and I've been playing it. I just went to church this morning and I came home and watched that show. I missed it the other night of Ben Carson. You know that doctor,
Yeah,
gifted hand.
yeah,
Ben Carson, and it was on again this afternoon, and I watched it. That was real good.
yeah. I started to watch it last night, but if it doesn't catch my interest at the beginning, I go to something else. It might have been good the further it got, but it didn't grab me. But that song about looking for Daddy, I vaguely remember writing it, but I didn't dream I'd find it on a tape.
I never, and I don't think I ever read that one. But I read one about bringing him coffee.
Yeah, I think I've still got that. That he used to bring me coffee in the mornings, and now I was bringing it to him. Got that somewhere, but that was just a poem.
Yeah, I think I've got it somewhere too, but I never had heard the other one.
Yeah, when I found it, I just boo-hooed.
Yeah, it brought back some sad memories.
Yeah.
Too. I always wonder if we could have done anything differently, but no sense in going back there now because we didn't at the time. So.
Yeah, there's no sense in regretting it now. But I was sitting in there today. I was putting more songs on the computer from a tape. I've got so many to go through.
Did y'all go out last night?
We went yesterday. We left here about 12:30 and went down to Nolensville at the feed mill. And they've got old stuff, it's it used to be an actual feed mill, and the guy that bought it, people have consignment in there, old antique stuff, and all on the front porch is old stuff sitting. While we were there, a young couple bought one of those little, about maybe 2 or 3 feet long, narrow wood stove. She said their ceiling in one room was 17 feet high and they couldn't heat it, so that's where they were going to put it.
Oh.
It was old and rusted, and it had 2 eyes on the top with those grooves in them, and we've got one of those things that picks it up with. I don't know whose stove it came off of. Maybe Moni's. I don't know. Seemed like Mother always had it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
I've seen Moni lift that one up off of her. There, the one in her kitchen, put a stick of wood in it so many times.
And this fella has started having Amish products, and he was having a sampling yesterday. And we bought some cheese and that butter and that hard. It was made in a round, about an inch thick round, and a unsliced loaf of their wheat bread. And
yeah, I love their cheese. Every time I go, when I went back to Columbus, we went to a flea market and they had the stuff from Walnut Creek, the cheese.
He had yellow sharp, and then a white cheese was yogurt skim milk cheese, which was good. And then there was one, it was a lighter color with what was it, blueberry streaks running through it, and you could taste it in the cheese. We didn't get any of that, of course.
I like them to get their noodles. They make those.
Yeah, they have those.
When I go back to, I used to go, there was a place in Plain City that sold it, because that used to be a big, and that wasn't far from Galloway, from where I lived, and I'd make a trip over there to one of the Amish stores, and they had all that stuff. They had their cheese, and they had that trail bologna, which really didn't taste much like bologna to me, but it was their bologna, and then the noodles and bread and different jams and jellies and stuff. It was always.
Yeah, they had all that, and I bought a jar of pickled beets. I tasted one, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we went to Dillard's to the Clinique counter. Mark had gotten me some Clinique for my birthday, which ended up not being the right thing for my skin. So this girl, I thought we were just going to be in and out, but we were in that store 2 hours. The young girl that Mark said, more than that. I told, after we got talking to this young girl, I wanted her to see I have some dry patches of skin on my face that just, you can flake it off. And so she removed my makeup and then did their, step-by-step process. And then she put makeup on me, and I really liked it because my skin didn't look so dry.
Yeah.
So Mark exchanged what he had gotten for my birthday for the right stuff, and then I wanted that makeup and that powder and something in a tube because I have red splotches on my face. It covers that. It comes out green in the tube, but when you put it on your skin, it's skin tone. So I bought that.
I've used their continuous coverage for years. That's all. I started using that when we lived in Clinton.
Is it in a bottle?
No, it's in a tube, a green tube. It's called continuous coverage.
Oh, is that to cover spots?
Well, it's just a makeup.
Oh.
It's a makeup. I know I get every time they come out with the sample, free sample stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a product, you get all. And I've had their 3-step skincare, and it's really good.
It is.
Cleanse it, and then you do the next step is kind of what I call an astringent, but they don't call it that.
Clarifier.
Clarifier, and then the moisturizer. It's good.
Yeah. So I came home with a bunch of Clinique, and And then I think we stopped at the grocery store. It was dark when we got home. So I took up 75% of Mark's day yesterday, but
Well, that's good that you felt like getting out and doing all that.
yeah. In that feed mill, I was talking to some man in the music business, and we had stood and talked so long, I felt my legs getting shaky. Thought I was going to have to, find somewhere to sit down, but I kind of leaned up to prop myself against a table, put my arm on the top of the table, and that helped some. But I do get tired, and then I just have to rest and then go to the next thing. But that's with a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I can't stand up. I can't stand when they stand up to sing in church. I have to be able to hold on to I can't stand for a long time without holding on to something.
No.
And I have to hold on to the chair in front of me, too. I mean, I can stand there, but I'm not comfortable just standing without holding on to something.
Yeah. So Cyrus called not too long ago and said him and Pat went out on the porch, and Letty had given them some kind of machine that plays CDs, and said it took Pat about 30 minutes to figure out how to work it, and they played those songs, and he said he enjoyed hearing Jean. And I said, well, what about the 3 songs I wrote about down about the house? And I said, did you hear a part about the airheads? Well, I must have missed that. Pat was talking the whole time. And I told Mark it don't do no good to send them nothing. In other words, they enjoyed the bluegrass better than mine.
If they did play it, maybe he'll go listen to it now after you mention that.
I don't know. He said Toby was coming down today and he would play it for them. Well, they'll all be talking and they won't be listening.
Yesterday was Melissa's birthday.
I
didn't send her anything. I mean, I did. I send the children a card every year, but that's all. I send Bubba and Pat cards if I can remember.
Yeah, he said that Toby and Melissa were up at Si's house having a celebration. Toby graduated Friday from that state police boot camp and drove back home in his state patrol car. And he said he was doing the speed limit and he had cars lined up all behind him. Nobody would pass him.
He probably enjoyed that.
Uh-huh.
Well, that seems like that lasted a long time, because they were talking about that when we...
It did last a long time, and a lot of men dropped out.
Did he come home on the weekends, or what?
Sometimes he got to come home on the weekend, but I don't know if he got to come home every weekend.
Well, I'm glad he's off that shift that he was on, where he had the rough part, the rough shifts on the Shreveport Police Department.
Yeah. So they're all proud and happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But
well, I just wanted to thank you for my music. I'm gonna go up and take them up there for Hank and listen to them.
Well, good.
And glad y'all are doing as well as you are. We all doing good.
Yeah, I'm about to get in there and cook a head of cabbage. I've started wanting cabbage. And I was going to make hot water cornbread, but Mark said he wanted some of that Amish bread with that Amish butter.
That sounds good.
And a steak in the top of the stove like Mother used to do it. Oh, and it would be fork tender.
Yeah, it would be. And every time I've tried to do that, my flour comes off. Well, after I make the gravy and put the steak back in there, my flour comes off of it.
Well, I don't. I've never put flour on it.
You don't flour your steak?
Uh-uh.
Well, maybe it's not supposed to have any on it.
I just season it on both sides and just put it at the heat at a level that it's not gonna burn real quick. But you have to. You can smell, but you can also see when that juice cooks down and it needs something added. I just keep some water by the stove and lift the lid and pour a little water in there, and it goes shh. And then I take a fork and kind of lift up the meat and scrape up under it, and keep doing that on both sides until I get it brown like I want it. And then on a roast, then I'll put a package of that dry onion soup mix, sprinkle that all in there, and add water and potatoes if I want to, or onions, and cover it and let it cook. And it is delicious.
Well, do you use tenderized? Do you use that tenderized steak?
No, I just got a sirloin steak. They had some organic beef down there at the feed mill. It was expensive, but I got the littlest piece they had, but it was $15.
Well, that's organic. All organic.
Yeah, and then when we went to the grocery store, I bought, sirloin from Publix, and I'm going to cook them in different pans and see if there's a difference in the taste.
It's just that it doesn't have hormones.
Those steroids and
Hormones and antibiotics.
Yeah.
They do say if you get, especially feeding it to children, to try to use. Hank and Lucy use organic milk. They use organic a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're not totally organic, but that John and Kate +8, she won't buy anything that's not organic.
I know.
But she thinks that's just giving the children a better start in life. But Willis had told Hank that the milk is what was causing young girls to develop so fast, because it had hormones in it, and that's why young girls was going into puberty so at a young age, was because and so that's when they never had thought much about it, I don't think. Willis gave them a lecture about using organic milk.
Yeah.
They always use it. And I think organic fruit, and I don't know what all they do. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Last week on John and Kate, did you see it when they were moving into their new house?
Yeah.
That house, I don't know. I'm not used to it yet.
Well, they've not a shot of the front of it, or else I missed it. I've seen them walking up the driveway and walking in the outbuildings and inside the house, but they must be going to do a new introduction.
I don't
they
know.
Come out the front door of that house, but I haven't seen. And if it was so filthy, Charlotte, who in the world did they buy it from? She said it was the filthiest house she'd ever been in.
Well, the filth to her was probably just ordinary stuff to anybody else. She's a clean freak.
But it was, maybe that's how they got it. Maybe it was cheap if somebody had. But they had new paint. All the rooms had all been painted, and they had new carpet. So,
I don't think they had one of those gigantic rope cobwebs that went all the way around their hallway like you had in Cersei when we had to call back and tell you. You said I like to know. It just kept going when you stuck your broom up there. You said it just kept going and it was wrapped all the way around the top.
where was that in when we bought that house?
No, when you were trying to sell it. No, in Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
On, I can't think of that street.
Aurelia.
Aurelia.
I can't even remember. And then I do.
I said, Mark, I've got to tell her about that cobweb.
Well, we lived. This place here wasn't all, that when we came and looked at it, that we didn't see how they would ever, get it clean, but they did. They cleaned it up, and then we came in and cleaned. Lucy had a cleaning team to come in here, ladies, and they still come. They come once every 3 weeks, and they're real good. It's 2 Spanish ladies, and they came in and scrubbed down everything. Even after the woman had it clean, Lucy had somebody come in and scrub it again.
Yeah.
And I bought a new refrigerator because
Yeah.
pretty bad. But they had cleaned the stoves and and I didn't. I still regret not putting down shelf liner, but I got so tired, and the cabinets were so clean. That kitchen is new, and I don't think anybody ever used it, and I just wiped out the cabinets and didn't put shelf paper down. And now I thought, well, that was a shame that I didn't.
I've got that rubber stuff with holes in it. It's not rubber, but it's not paper, but you can get it in rolls and cut it to fit. And
something like that, because I don't like that stuff that sticks.
No, and I put it in the bottom of my silverware drawer, and the cabinets, where the plates and glasses and cups.
Where did you get it?
Probably Walmart.
I'll have to go look. Maybe I can just
It's a
do one cabinet at a time instead of trying to do. I was tired. I was tired of moving and packing and everything.
I got white. I think there was maybe a couple of other colors, but it's with where you find the shelf liners and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause
you just cut it to fit.
Yeah, just measure, because it comes in a roll. But when we moved here, when I opened those cabinet doors, it stunk. That paper that had been in there for years and years. And I got all that up and scrubbed in there, and then we painted keels, painted them inside the shelves with keels, which kills any, mildew or anything that was in there. And then I got that shelf liner, but I can't describe the odor that it had from that paper.
Yeah. Well, I was just, I put pots and pans down in the bottom cabinets, and I thought if I had put shelf paper in there, would have protected it. But anyway, I can still do it.
Yeah, you can.
Well, I'm going to let you go. I enjoyed talking to you. I think I'm real proud of this.
Oh, I hope Hank likes it.
Yeah, I think he will. I'll take it up there and let him listen to it. I don't know if he's got a CD player in his car or not. I think he does. Maybe take it with him to work.
Well, made one for me with a bunch of my songs on it, and it won't play in my car, but it'll play in the house.
Yeah. Well, I've got this little thing Willis brought. The first Christmas we were on a radio court, he come in with this little player, and it's a radio and a CD and a tape. And I still have a lot of tapes that I listen to, and then I have CDs too, and so I've enjoyed it. I thought I'd broke it one time, and I moved over here, and I said, I'm going to just throw that out the door because it's broke, and I ain't got to fooling with it. And then I heard I said, there's my favorite CD is stuck in there, and he was fooling with it, and all at once I heard my CD playing.
Well,
And I said, you fixed it. And he said, well, there wasn't nothing wrong with it. So.
yeah, I did. On my little recorder that I was using to listen to the tapes initially, one of those little ones, a tape player, one day I picked it up and it wouldn't play, and I didn't know where the cord was to plug it into the wall because it's got batteries in it. So I tried 2 or 3 tapes, and I finally gave up. And when Mark came home, I said, that tape player is not playing. I think it needs new batteries. Well, he picked it up, and the pause button was down, and I didn't even notice it. So
Well,
just little things you don't notice. But I know this is your dime, but I thank you for calling. And
yeah, well, it don't matter. I've got cheap long distance. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm glad you're doing well, and glad you had a good birthday. And
yeah, I did. So
I'll talk to you later.
okay,
Bye.
bye.